Hey guys, welcome back to Buzzer2Buzzer. Alrighty guys, welcome back to the third video of us covering the upcoming 2021 NFL Draft. Today guys, we're going to be going through our top 12 picks, doing a top 12 pick mock draft, looking at who's going to be taken up in these first 12 picks. And then tomorrow, as a reminder, we'll be live streaming the first couple of picks with you guys, so stay tuned for that as well. Without any further ado, let's get towards the first pick.
So with the number one pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars in our draft are taking QB Trevor Lawrence. This is not really, yeah. Ryan, hold the shock there. This is a bit of a shocking pick. I know it's crazy, but this is like a pick that I think has been solidified. Everyone knows who's going number one. Everyone knows who the most talented player in this draft is. It's Trevor Lawrence. I mean, this man barely has any weaknesses. After me and Harsh were looking at some lists actually, his weaknesses were his long frame or something like that, and his strengths were literally everything that a good QB needs. He's an insane prospect, and I think he's going to do really well with the Jaguars or whatever. With the Jaguars, and when he goes to the NFL.
All right, and with the second pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, we got the New York Jets selecting the quarterback from BYU, Zach Wilson. Guys, we saw Zach Wilson. He's been balling out at BYU the past season. The New York Jets have pretty much made it clear that they're going to be selecting him. The talks with the coaches, the trade with Sam Darnold, we covered it a couple of weeks ago as well. It's pretty clear, like the number one overall pick, that Zach Wilson is going to be a future New York Jet where he can have a heck of a career. He reminds me a lot about coming out like a Johnny Manziel type of character, or has potential to be better, much better than Johnny Manziel. We all know how that ended, where Johnny Manziel's gone now. But Zach Wilson had a heck of a one season, and that one season, it's a lot, and I think it's enough to place him at the number 2 spot.
With the number 3 pick, the San Francisco 49ers in our mock draft end up taking Trey Lance. I personally believe that he is a significantly better prospect than Mac Jones. Studying their scheme, Kyle Shanahan is known for getting the best out of his quarterback. We saw it with Matt Ryan in Atlanta a few years back. And I think, with the raw of a prospect that Trey Lance is, I think he'll get the best out of him and make this team a very strong contender.
All right. With the fourth pick, this is with the Atlanta Falcons. If I had my way, I would probably trade out of this pick. But since we're not doing trades in this mock draft, I'm gonna have the Atlanta Falcons taking the best non-quarterback in this class, Kyle Pitts, tight end, Florida. I think he's probably the greatest tight end prospect. Mel Kiper has said he's probably the best pass catcher in this draft too. And with an aging Matt Ryan, you need to rebuild that offensive weaponry. And obviously, with the reports that have been coming out that they might trade Julio, you need another person to pick up that slack. So I definitely think Kyle Pitts is the right pick here.
This brings up an interesting question for the Atlanta Falcons guys. Matt Ryan, the past 2 years, it's been sort of rough riding with him, right? And if they were to select a quarterback, there are obviously a bunch more names, which we'll be saying it later on in the draft. Why not go with a quarterback in this position?
I personally believe, the Falcons, they want to try it out one more time with Matt Ryan. If it doesn't work out, right, there's Julio trade rumors. Everyone's gone. Calvin Ridley's going to be gone. Julio's going to be gone. Kyle Pitts will sort of be like that remaining, a rebuilding piece. Matt Ryan, they'll find a way to get rid of him, and they're going to go into full rebuild. That defense is sort of not that great, and they try and adding to that in later rounds of the draft. They're going to maybe do free agency. So I think they want to give it one more shot, add a very good tight end. Hayden Hurst is okay. You can obviously get better than Hayden Hurst as we saw last year, and so I think this is one last chance for Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Also, I think the unique thing about Kyle Pitts is that everyone thinks of him as a receiver, except just obviously with the tight end build. As Arian was saying, he was probably the best non-QB player in this draft for sure. I think you can say that hands down. And I think Harsh was I agree with Harsh what he was saying. The Falcons are just trying to shoot with one last shot, one last Hail Mary, getting this type of player. And if it doesn't happen, if it doesn't work out, obviously if they do bad during the regular season, they're going to make some huge changes for sure. No. So with the fifth pick in the draft, I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to choose Penei Sewell, O-line. Obviously, we saw how bad the Bengals O-line was last year. Joe Burrow was taking sacks left and right, and this man had barely any time to throw the ball. And that's why, obviously, I think that's the reason why he got injured, or a big reason. So the Bengals are looking at how to get their offensive line better, and this is obviously done through one of the best O-line in the draft, if not the best O-line in the draft. So I think that, I was looking at something that said that they might take Jamar Chase too, but I really think an O-line is more important for them than a wide receiver is at this point. And so I think that's what they're going to take.
Already now going towards the number 6 pick with the Miami Dolphins, guys. I think that the Miami Dolphins are going to be adding some weapons for Tua Tagovailoa in his second year. They're going to be adding the Heisman Trophy winner, Devontae Smith. Guys, Devontae Smith and his teammate at Alabama, Jalen Waddle, both have been balling out. But I honestly believe that Devontae Smith, despite whatever concerns are arising about his size, he's an amazing route runner, and he can do a heck of a job for the Miami Dolphins in that franchise. Coming in number 6, he's going to provide a lot of value, and I can honestly see that connection between him and Tua just improving throughout the season, and he could have quite the tremendous impact.
I think that Devontae Smith's he's an amazing player, an amazing prospect. But I think if you have Jamar Chase on the board at this point, I would take him over Devontae Smith. Obviously, both wide receivers, both amazing players, but I could see it go either way. I personally would just take Jamar Chase in this position with the Dolphins.
The Dolphins are a very interesting team because, they have few needs. They have the offensive line and they have the wide receiver position. The cornerbacks, obviously, they have one of the best defensive players in the league. Their defense was borderline amazing. And so for them, it really was adding that O-line. I personally think that if they traded down to 12 just to come back to 6, they'd be taking an O-line because Rashawn Slater is projected to go very early. So I think they would go Rashawn Slater, but Devontae Smith makes sense too. All right, in our with the number 7 pick, we have the Detroit Lions, and here there's a few options. We could go Justin Fields, start a full rebuild with a new quarterback, but I think the Detroit Lions traded for Jared Goff for a reason. They want to try things out, see what happens. But this team might be the only team that has a worse situation for a quarterback than maybe the Jets. I truly believe the only reason they got more wins is because they had a quarterback in Matthew Stafford to drag through. So I think, looking at their full roster, they lost the top 2 wide receivers, Marvin Jones Jr. and Kenny Galladay. So I think they go wide receiver and they take Jamar Chase, the best player available wide receiver-wise, and I think he's the best fit for that rebuilding team.
So yeah, here with the 8th pick with Carolina, again, this is another just like the Atlanta Falcons. I can see the Panthers wanting to trade back. There are good players up here, but they could get a lot of draft capital if a team like Washington or Chicago wanted to get a quarterback. But since there's no trades again, I'm gonna take Rashawn Slater, O-line from Northwestern here. Obviously they got Sam Darnold in a trade via the Jets, and you got to protect Sam Darnold. We saw what Sam Darnold was without any O-line in New York, and he was straight up terrible. So you get the solid left tackle, Rashawn Slater. You already have Christian McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson, DJ Moore. And I think we can really see what Sam Darnold is as a quarterback after this pick.
With the 9th pick, I think the Denver Broncos are going to take Patrick Surtain. I think that he's one of the best cornerbacks in this draft. Obviously, he had a great season at Alabama. In alternative pick, I could have seen what's his name? Oh yeah, an alternative pick. I could have seen Caleb Farley, but there's a lot of risk right there because of his recent back surgery, and a lot of people are saying that what effect that could have on his playing style. But the safest option, I believe, is taking Patrick Surtain. He's a great player. I think that's what the Broncos will do to get their defense better.
And coming in at the number 10th pick for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm going to go with the guy who I believe is the best cornerback available in this draft, that being J.C. Horn from South Carolina. Guys, I think that we saw the Cowboys last year. Their defense was horrendous, allowing the most points in franchise history. It was an absolute crazy thing to watch. They were allowing touchdowns left and right. But I feel like that allowing and putting in a guy like J.C. Horn into their system can help them out in the defensive end. His father also played for Coach Mike McCartney when he was down in New Orleans. That connection, I think, is going to be there. The chemistry is going to be there as well. Can see him developing into an elite cornerback, maybe even Jalen Ramsey level. So the 10th pick, the Cowboys, going with J.C. Horn.
With the number 11 pick, we have the New York Giants. And our mock draft, I could have gone a few ways with this. I think they have a few important needs. They have defensive end, linebacker, and then maybe an offensive line piece if they want to go in that direction. I personally believe they just picked up a wide receiver in Kenny Galladay. And, this class is so wide receiver heavy, they can get one in the second, third round. A lot of wide receivers fell last year, so I don't see the same thing happening here. So I think, with the deficiency of linebackers in this draft, I think it comes down to Jeremiah Owusu-Carmona. I personally believe he's a better linebacker than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons has come out with character issues. In this young team, you don't want a diva on that roster. We saw kind of that OBJ effect that had on the wide receiver locker room. I don't think the Giants want to go through with that again. I think they're going to go with Jeremiah OK here.
the Giants just made a terrible move and passed up on arguably the best wide receiver in this class. And so with the 12th pick here, I have to have the Eagles taking Jalen Waddle, from wide receiver from Alabama. Obviously, if he wasn't at this pick, I would probably trade back. But you want to see if Jalen Hurts is the right quarterback for the future, and the way to do that is surround him with weapons. They already have Jalen Rager. They're drafting Jalen Waddle. They have Greg Ward. They have some pieces there, Miles Sanders. So I think you have to surround Jalen Hurts and give him the best opportunity to succeed this upcoming year.
Alrighty, guys. Well, that concludes our top 12 picks mock draft for this upcoming 2021 NFL draft. A lot more to see what can happen. These first 10 picks, especially, will be quite interesting to see. As always, guys, be sure to like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Do you guys think we got it right? Well, only one way to find out. Tomorrow, during our live stream at 7 p.m. Central. Catch you guys then. See you guys.